Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar. My name is Aneta and I represent BrightNet as a corporate branding and communication manager, and I will have a pleasure of conducting and moderating today's meeting. Welcome to the webinar where we will dive deep into the pivotal role of data in creating a seamless customer experience, and we will base on insurance sector. So the main theme of today's meeting is putting your clients first, always. I believe it's an important business advice. And we will talk about it, how to ensure growth through customer-centricity. And taking a short look at our today's agenda, we will start with a welcome and introduction. I believe that welcome part we have already behind us. And I will in the moment introduce to all our participants our today's speakers, Bartosz Kwieciński and Bartosz Sokołowski. Then Bartosz Kwieciński from Generali will present us his part of presentation talking about data-driven marketing and how to use the customer data in the most efficient way. After his part, Bartosz Sokołowski from BrightNet will talk about the solution CBK, a central database of customer that we as a BrightNet and our specialist has implemented in Generali, and he will focus on the fact that success lies in a cooperation. After the presentation of Bartosz Sokołowski, we will also have a part of Q&A section. So whenever there will be a question from the audience side, you can always put your question via chat, and we will address all those questions by the end of our today's meeting. So our first speaker today will be Bartosz Kwieciński, Marketing and Direct Department Director from Generali. Hello, Bartosz.
Morning.
I'm very happy that you are here today with us. And Bartosz has been involved in the financial market since 2003, and he's specialized in the insurance industry for almost 15 years. He has extensive experience in digital transformation area, and is also specialized in sales development in direct channels. And Bartosz Sokołowski, our second speaker today, who is a data warehouse manager from BrightNet. Hello, Bartosz.
Hello.
It's also good to have you today with us. And Bartosz has been working from BrightNet for over 8 years right now, and he is specialized in data and data warehousing area. And during his career, he helped really numerous companies from different branches, different sectors in improving their customers' experience through the data. So we will definitely focus on data and how to effectively use it, basing on a CBK example. And we will start with Bartosz Kwieciński from Generali presentation regarding that part. So Bartosz, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Good morning again. Thank you for invitation. I'll have an opportunity today to talk briefly about our approach to data in terms of the marketing and the customer relations. Can we have the next slide? Okay, super, thank you. So coming from the Generali strategy, the main 3 pillars of the strategy, so the approach centered around the customer, so the effortless and caring experience, personalized value proposition, and digital advice. I was trying to connect it with the data and give you the overview how we approach this in terms of the data. So the first part would be the data collection, so how we approach to collecting the data, and I will talk about it briefly in the rest of the presentation. Then the second part is generating insight, customer insight, customization of both the processes, proposition, and creating and utilizing customer lifetime value as an important factor in how to approach the service of our customers. And last, relevance and timing. So when and with what kind of the information we should approach our customers. And starting from the data collection, of course, the first main point should be the assessment of what exactly is the state of the data that we currently own. So what's the type of the data, what's the quantity, quality, and this is kind of a specifics for the insurance, the ownership of the data, because in theory, even if we have a legal rights to contact all the customers, we have to account for our distribution network, for our agents who have their own relations with the customers. So this needs to be taken into consideration as well. Then the development and the implementation of the CI structure. So of course, central customer database, which is a key factor in terms of the technology that needs to be implemented in order for all those processes to run properly. Integration of the production system with the central database, so preferably everything runs smoothly and there is at least manual work or manual approach that's possible, and everything is very close or close to being online communication, and unstructured data repository as an additional part of the gathering the data. So the next point is the identification of the alternative data sources. So apart from the core processes, as an example, there is an online channel, so gathering information from the interactions of the customers in this channel and the details of those interactions as well. So not only we have a contact with customer, what type of the contact and what was the matter that was discussed. So that might be the important part as well. On the other hand, we have, as an insurance company, we have from the specifics of the business, very few opportunities to actually talk to the customers and contact the customers. So it's wise to try to build the separate and create the additional platforms of generating contact and those generating the more data. So as an example, might be loyalty program, might be telematics, and we have our own generally group program that I will talk about briefly later. Later means now. So generally Vitality is a platform that basically supports the customer in trying to get into better physical shape with the actual tangible rewards. And from the data perspective, it helps us create as I mentioned, another opportunities of the contact with the customers and delivers the data that is very unique for the insurance business and supports directly the part of businesses and health insurance or life insurance, but also can be used indirectly in terms of the other P&C business lines wherever it is relevant. The use of data, so starting from the top is the development of the customer lifetime value model. So of course we try to serve all the customers as best as possible, but we need to pay a special attention to those customers who deliver great value to the company, and that's why we created this KPI, and of course, it's based on all the data that we have. Implementation of so when we have the data, we need the tools to use the data. So in general, in Poland, we rely on the Salesforce stacks. We are using Marketing Cloud, we are using Einstein Tableau, and we are planning to implement in the future the Personalization Studio. So all this helps us to actually operationalize everything that we can get from the data and actually use it in the contact with the customers. Process optimization. So of course, even the simplest processes have several variables, so we can diversify them based on the contact time. So when we choose to contact the customer, what will be the method? So whether it would be SMS, email, call, or face-to-face contact, and of course, what type of the message we should create. And this is based again on the data that we acquire, and we can optimize those processes based on this. So the next part is the next best offer. So as I mentioned, those contacts are few and far between, so we need to use all of them as effectively as possible. It can be, of course, citing this next best offer, it can be a next best action, but this should be attached to each customer, and we should use all the opportunities of the contact as effectively as possible. The next point, personalization of the offer of the communication. So it's kind of simple. So basically, what type of the message we want to send to the customer, and then again, this has to be analyzed and based on the data that we already collected and we are processing. The next point is generation of customer insights. So of course, working together with our product department based on the data, try to look into the information, and apart from the standard methods like the research, interviews with the customers, with the agents, or just market research, just go into the data and see whether there are patterns over there that can hint us into developing or improving our proposition for the customer. The next point is the operationalization of the 360 view. So basically in the CRM, of course, in the business intelligence analytics, so start looking at the not per policy, not per product, but of course look at the customer as a whole. And of course, the next stage is moving on from looking at the customer to looking at the whole household to account for all the products and everything that is connected to those customers. The back office, of course, and quite important for the online and the agent network. So online in the customer self-service, of course, we have to have this as customers would like to see what type of the products they are having. And for agents, it's just a natural supplement to be better prepared to talk to the customers. So apart from the NBO and BA, just to have an outlook and let the agents work on their own as well. And the last point is building customer relations. So this is from the business perspective, maybe, so the money perspective is maybe less relevant, but from the customer relations perspective is hugely important. So basically managing the relations with the customers and try to create the contact moments, which are not actually cross-sell, upsell, or the other sales-oriented contacts, but rather contacts to make sure that we are maintaining the relation. And a good example is just pick the right moment, again, based on the information, when to contact the customer with the reminder of what type of the coverage they have. So foreseeing that this coverage might be relevant for them in the near future. So that's quite important for us to both build the relations, but to improve our other non-financial KPIs like the NPS, for example. And I think that would be all on my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bartosz, from your part of presentation. Now the stage is for Bartosz Sokołowski from Brightnet.
Yeah, hello, good morning to all. Bartosz Sokołowski speaking. And today my goal is to introduce you the implementation of carry out together with Generali, but through the eyes of an IT solution provider. CPK implementation, success lies in cooperation. At the beginning, I will start by explaining the abbreviation. CPK in Polish is an abbreviation from Central Customer Database. And from the supplier's perspective, we have observed a simple relationship over the years. The lower the commitment is, the higher the risk of implementation failure. Fortunately, on the Generali side, we had at least a few people at various decision-making levels who perfectly understood the benefits we could achieve together. As a result, together we were unstoppable during the project. I have seen many failures caused by the lack of commitment on the part of organizations that did not understand the sense of implementation IT systems. The same thing happens when we see lack of will at the appropriate level, which most often results in a failure of the entire initiative. And the quality of the customer data should be the highest in the systems where personal data is collected, as we can see in the picture, ERP systems, CRM, and so on. But data is obtained in many different ways. For example, web forms are always a challenge. We often allow users to have quite a lot of freedom with entering the data. Unfortunately, greater freedom reduces the quality of data. So people are more sloppy and they make more mistakes. Of course, we can force very restrictive data entry, but in practice, we can see that after 2 failures in entering data, most people find them annoying and stop filling it. This shows us how difficult it is to obtain data and how difficult it is to control its quality. And here comes the idea. What if I had a mechanism that always provides me the most appropriate set of customers' data that I need? This is what CPK provides. Together with Generali, we implement 4 main models that fully satisfy the business demand. First one, the data quality model, based on Java technology, is used to clean, enrich, and consolidate personal data or other attributes whose quality should be controlled. Second one, CPK Gold Layer. This is a process responsible for assigning for a given group of records connected by an identity key, one record from each attribute, and marking given attributes as the best in the set. This marking can be based on the data update, the level of trust of a given data source, or another attribute important from the business point of view. Call Center Web Application is a tool based on Apache Lucene, the main purpose of which is to provide fast and advanced search. Thanks to a number of ready-made tools, it allows in an easy way to implement full-text search or search by word fragments. Very useful solution during first few seconds of customers' phone call to our call center. And the last one, consent management. This model uses the data bus, which is responsible for propagating data and communication in business process based on the 350 customer view or GDPR. Obvious, but customers forgot that CBK should be used after implementation. CBK brings the greatest value when the source systems overcome the path of full synchronization, both by providing and receiving data. Then, we are talking about a situation when CBK has become the heart-pumping data in the organization. Believe me, implementation dramatically increases the quality of daily work with data. For example, in the insurance industry, it is very important in the process of customer service quality. At the same time, please imagine that any industry dealing with updating its customers' data, automatically covered by the obligation related to GDPR, can fully use the potential offered by the implementation of CBK. Path success is a state in which only a new system is fully synchronized with the data from CBK, while at the same time, the old ones lives with their own lives. The success is half success because from a technical point of view, the goal has been achieved. In example, the implementation has been successfully completed. However, from a business point of view, we give users a loophole to obtain data not synchronized with CBK. The effects are easy to predict. If there is a possibility of a mistake and using less current data, it will happen sooner or later. Of course, I will emphasize again how important cooperation is between the company and the supply. This is the only way to ensure full implementation success. Taking into the account all our implementations, each client has at least one individual data normalization process. The solution is created by us from scratch as a box solution. The specificity of the issue of a border of business and technology in the area of data governance requires during each implementation a stage of tuning algorithms, or in extremely difficult cases, creating a data cleansing mechanism from scratch. A major technical challenge that we have to overcome while preparing this mechanism was data mapping and defining a golden record for the entire organization. Each department uses different data and the different aspects is important to them. In example, claims settlement needs the latest data in order to locate the customer. On the other hand, the sales department needs the data related to a specific product so as not to communicate to the general address. Therefore, in CBK, we have component records and we calculate the golden record dynamically depending on who is asking. Of course, such an approach to implementation forces certain changes in the organization at the process level.
Thank you, Bartosz, very much for your part.
Thank
and
you.
Once again, thank you, gentlemen, for your presentations. I have received 3 questions regarding central customer database. So I hope that you can now provide us the answer. So first question that I received is, will the CBK handle cases where we have web forms in the company and users submit incomplete data?
Yes, of course, the golden record mechanism is responsible for displaying the most appropriate set of data.
Okay. And the second question is also regarding CBK. Will the implementation of CBK automatically streamline processes within the company?
No, but it's a very good opportunity to review processes and streamline them, because we have to remember that during this implementation, we deliver the whole team, and a part of this team are business analysts. So they are helping to make some changes or some improvements during this business processes.
So if I add, I agree fully, but I will just add that it initially, of course, it forces the company to make sure that the processes are running smoothly and properly in order to secure the quality of the data. And of course, having the central database, and very quickly it will make some processes redundant, as for example, having an access to the full 360 view doesn't require the agents or the other front office people to contact check or whatever. So it's a significant improvement in the quality of work.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Thank you
Yeah,
very
true.
much for this answer. And the last question that I have received is what happens if a customer first consents to marketing communication and later withdraw consent? Can the CBK detect such changes?
Yeah, without any problem. Because a dedicated model watches and monitors the latest set of consents and update them in milliseconds, just live.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is quite important because with all the regulations, and of course all the companies are very mindful of the data protection of the customer. And the last thing that we want to have is the contact to the customer who just withdrew the consent. So it's quite important that it works.
Definitely.
Yeah, everyone loves GDPR.
We need to stick to the rules, right? So there are regulations that we need to follow, and definitely, if our tool is prepared to detect such changes, it's something that makes our life just easier. So thank you, gentlemen, for your answers. I don't have any questions here right now. So whenever our audience or someone who is watching our video would like to ask something more about the CBK project, look for some details regarding this area that we are discussing, you are also always very welcome to post your questions into email to us, and we will address remaining questions in communication with our participants. So once again, I would like to sincerely thank you, Bartosz Kwieciński, thank you, Bartosz Sokołowski, for today's meeting, for your presentations and answering the questions. And we will stay in touch, and I definitely invite all of you to the next webinar. So see you next time.